2-104-020 says the governing principle of this code shall be to charge all elected officials of Whatcom County government with the duty of holding themselves fully accountable to the highest ethical, professional, and legal standards of all times while holding office, representing the county's citizens, and conducting the public's business. A public official who has a private interest in any law or policy proposed or pending shall disclose the fact to the department head of which he is a member, and in the case of a county council member, shall not vote thereon. A private interest is defined in Whatcom County Code 2-104-030N to mean any interest from which an elected official will derive a direct monetary gain or suffer direct monetary loss by reason of his or her official activity, unless the benefit or detriment does not accrue to the elected public official as a member of a business, profession, occupation, or group in any greater extent than to other members of such group. And the provisions of 2-104-043A reads, no county official may use his or her position to secure special privileges or exemptions for himself, herself, or others. I would move that those be adopted as the findings of fact of this commission.
I would offer a friendly amendment. I would suggest that the point, I think it was point 7, about his subsequent appointment be stricken, because I think it's irrelevant to the proceedings.
Right. Should we take friendly amendments before we have a second? Or good, is it?
To the extent
sorry.
that, no, that's,
I'd be happy to second and offer my friendly amendment.
Okay.
so why don't you move to amend?
I'll move to amend.
I'll second it.
And discussion, I would agree with that. That was one that I had marked.
Very good.
I don't believe it belongs in there.
I concur.
So we
Okay.
vote on the motion.
Let's vote on the amendment.
Yes?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 3, I marked, and it was, I think, about needs 3 votes, or needs 4 votes.
Yes.
I thought we sort of had decided that was not relevant in all of this, but maybe I'm wrong there.
I don't think it is really relevant.
Or that it supports any conclusions. I don't know.
So would you want to strike the words 4 votes and simply say election of the vacant position required a majority vote of the 7-member council?
It's the same thing.
I think, by the way, if you bring that up, you're going to have to go back to, why did the council change the language of the vote in the first place?
Well, I think, having earlier said, I don't think it's the number is relevant. The issue is the vote. If the chair were to make a motion to amend, it would be viewed as highly friendly.
So I make such a motion to amend.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Well, I really don't care. That's okay. They're the same thing in my mind. But
Is the point itself necessary?
I was debating or questioning whether the point itself was necessary. Now, maybe it is. You sort of stated it a little differently than I recall.
Your motion is just to remove the 4 votes language, and that's fine.
I was going to remove the whole sentence.
Full sentence?
The whole,
Do you want to just read the sentence again?
Election of the vacant position required a majority vote of the full 7-member council. 4 votes per WCC 2.02.030A and B.
well, maybe that is relevant.
I would remove the 4 vote section, because that's, to me, that's in somewhat of uncertainty given what is in the council minutes. Because the council amended their own rules.
And I personally think it's irrelevant to the discussion whether the number of votes that were
Yeah.
used,
Agreed.
whether it's a majority or otherwise.
But should it be left in there, or should it be deleted?
I would strike the whole sentence, but
The whole
that's-
sentence.
I don't think that it was put to a vote. I mean, I think what it needs to say, it was up to the council to make the decision, or to somehow indicate that there was a vote to be taken by council. I don't know that the majority or anything makes any difference in the decision. The decision to vote or not to vote is not premised on.
Yeah, I would agree.
So
If there's
would you
a,
be comfortable if it read election to the vacant position required a vote of the county council?
Yes.
Yes, that's fine.
okay, a vote. Then I think it comes back to that it would have to say a majority, but
I
maybe
think it says a
not.
majority vote.
Yeah, okay. Because that was a fact.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, it was a fact, but then that was the first choice that's the first route you take for the appointment, and then if they can't agree. So I think it does have to say majority vote.
All right, so revised, it would read election to the vacant position required a majority vote of the Whatcom County Council. Period. Seems like we have an amendment sitting out there. If that amendment was yanked and a new one was put in there, do the trick.
You mean Rudd's amendment you don't think does the trick?
Well,
He does.
Did-
That was his.
what was Rudd's amendment? I've now lost. Again, I'm lost again.
I think he changed 4 to majority.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay,
Because that's
perfect.
reflected in a council minutes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
There you go.
Need to vote on it.
Okay.
Okay, that's
And so that's okay
Yeah.
with you? Okay. I think, did we vote on that?
No.
Okay. All those in support of changing 4 to majority, say aye.
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 Okay. Would you read 5 again?
Mr. Nelson voted in favor of some candidates and against others. All we're doing is reciting what the facts are,
Yeah.
what transpired.
Okay. I think he said that in his stuff, so that's true.
And the facts are recorded in the council minutes anyway, so.
Right, okay.
And we have that record here.
And your long statement at the end clarifying the 2 provisions,
I was
is that that's considered the facts too, to have all of that in there?
Well, I think it's a fact that these are the provisions of the law that apply. So I think what we're signposting is, these are the provisions of the law that are allegedly violated, and here's how they read.
So what are you looking for a motion to accept?
We have a motion. I made the motion on the adoption of the,
We've adopted 2 amendments.
so now we're back to the main motion.
We're back to the main motion, but
Unless-
there was so much in that last fact.
Well, the last fact was a recitation.
Of what,
It was
of the 2 definitions.
It was a precise reading of 21042, governing
Right.
principles.
Of the exact wording.
It was the exact wording.
Yeah,
It was the
okay.
exact wording of 2104030N, and it was an exact reading of 2104043A.
Correct.
Okay. And, okay, but you're not including the 3.0, which was definitions.
I did include the definition
include
of
that
private
too?
interest,
Okay.
yes.
Right.
Those are the
Okay.
3.0N.
Because those, all 3 were part of the complaint.
That's correct.
Okay. Okay, I believe we are at the motion. Is any further discussion? Are there more findings of fact? Well, that should be amended into here.
I have no further comment.
What?
I have no further comment.
Okay. Chuck?
No, in this case, we're voting on the amended findings, is that correct?
Yes.
At this
Mhm.
point?
And that's what I'm asking. Are there any
Right.
any
I
other
have no
things that
objection.
need to be included here that are not included.
I have
And then in our decision, we discuss the merits.
We'll discuss the conclusions of that. Yes.
Okay. Okay. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor of accepting the findings of the motion, in favor of the motion on the findings of fact, the findings, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. That motion has carried.